if you see a line like this, for example, then very important property of the line is the slope of the line. This line has some kind of slope, right? Okay, look at this line. This has a less slope. This has almost no slope, right? How about this? It has very high slope, and this one has, steep, very steep, almost, impossible slope, right? So as you can see, the slope here, which we call m, is almost 0, right? And the slope here, m, is maybe a small value, maybe 0.2. The slope here, m, is almost getting close to 1, maybe 0.9 or something, or 0.8, okay? And here, m becoming maybe 3, okay? And here m is undefined, okay? So the slope is increasing, in this direction, as we go up, this is slope increasing, okay? The slope in all of these cases are positive. If you want to see some examples of negative slope, then it will be the opposite, which means that if I have now this line is negative slope, this is also negative slope, and negative slope, okay? So that means what? If when x is increasing, y also increasing, here x increase, y increase, x increase, y increase, x increase, y increase. So they increase together or decrease together also. If x decrease, imagine choosing another point, going down this, so the x decrease and y decrease. So they increase together, decrease together. That's a slope that's positive. The slope here is positive. Okay? But here it is the opposite. If x increase, y decrease. See that? X increase, y decrease. Can you imagine this? Yeah. Right? If x decrease, y increase. So they're opposite. And that's a negative relationship. Okay? That's why the slope here is negative. So the slope here is negative. Okay? But how do they know the value of a slope like this approximately? There must be a way to find out the slope. Okay? So what is the formula for finding the slope? So let us see the formula of the slope. The idea of the slope is that if you see any 2 points here, suppose this is the first point, this is the second point. You can do the opposite. You can make the first point, the second point, no problem. You still get the same slope. Any 2 points, in any order, you get the same slope. But assume this is the first point, this is the second point, and suppose this point has, x1 and y1, the coordinates x1 and y1, right? And this point has x2 and y2, okay? So now, what will be the slope? The slope is the change of y divided by the change of x. So if you see here, this point here, there's a change of y, I call it delta y, okay? And there is also a change of x, right? Delta x is a change of x between these 2 points. So the slope m will be delta y over delta x, not the opposite. You cannot make it delta x over delta y. You get the wrong answer. The change of y, it's basically how high is the difference compared to a unit horizontal shift, okay, and the point. So delta y here, simply you can see delta y. What does delta y equal? It's y2 minus y1. So that's what delta y is. It's y2 minus y1. Also delta x, same thing. It's x2 minus x1. X2 here minus x1. It's this distance. So I can say now that the slope is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, okay? And this formula, you can use it to get the slope for any line. So let us see our line. If I give you, these 2 points, for example, 3 and minus 2, this is the first point. The second point is 5 and minus 5, and ask you what is the slope. So the first thing you do, you have to decide first who is the first point, who is the second point. So if you decide this is the first point, right here x1, y1, and this second point x2, y2, so that you don't get confused, and then apply the formula.
Plus 2, minus 5 plus 2.
Okay, minus 5 plus 2, because minus 2 will be over x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is 3. Okay, so minus 5 minus will be plus 2. Minus 5 plus 2 is equal what? Minus 3. Minus 3 over 2. Minus 3 over 2. So that is the slope, minus 3 over 2. Okay, so this slope is negative, which means the line looks like this. The line, if you graph it, looks like this. He doesn't want the graph, he just want the slope. Okay?